Good evening, folks. Freddie Vasquez here with Basement Politics Unfiltered. Tonight, I want to go over 9 Broadway and the proposed development that has many residents upset. Good evening, folks. It's Freddie Vasquez coming on a little later than usual, but I wanted to come on and discuss this 900 North Broadway proposal here that had many residents upset. As I spoke about in the last podcast 2 days ago, the city council held a meeting, and in that meeting, they opened up the floor to the public to speak on certain items on the agenda. One of the items was a proposal for a 4-story, 60-unit senior apartment. Now, from what I'm understanding, these are going to be market rate, not affordable housing. However, the language in the proposal is a bit confusing. Many residents said, is it going to be affordable senior or is it market rate? And if it's market rate, are they anticipating, very rich seniors to come into the city of Yonkers and rent these $4,000 and $5,000 apartments? I want to go over first the proposal here. This is a resolution that actually was passed the last year. So how many people knew about this resolution? And did the city council members discuss this with their constituents? By the city council president, Collins Bellamy, majority leader Diaz, majority whip Rubo, and so forth, a resolution declaring the Yonkers City Council's desire to serve as lead agency and to refer the city and county planning boards and all other involved agency a proposed amendment of Chapter 43 of the Code of the City of Yonkers, known as the Zoning Ordinance and the Zoning Map of the City of Yonkers, to reclassify and rezone the property located at 900 North Broadway on the tax map as Block 3415, Lot 23, Section 3, from its present PEP district designation to the MG district. And so it's important, really quick, that I make note of their desire. The Yonkers City Council has a desire to be the lead agency on this particular project. Why is that? Is it all part of, the colluding that they're doing to get this to move forward? And I'll get into that in a minute. So what is the lead agency? What does that mean really quick, right? Because I didn't always know, and I'm not 100% sure. What does it mean to be the lead agency? Under the State Environmental Policy Act, most new proposals are reviewed by a designated lead agency. While this is typically a city or county government agency, other entities such as port or school districts and state agencies can also be a lead SEPA agency. The lead agency makes sure procedural reviews comply with SEPA. Information about a proposal's environmental aspect is gathered and assessed, and all agencies with jurisdictions are informed and involved. Threshold determinations are made, and if needed, environmental impact statements are prepared. A responsible official represents the lead agency to ensure the environmental analysis meets SEPA procedural requirements. The official can be a single agency representative for all SEPA review, different staff with varying specialties for each SEPA review, a group such as an environmental review committee, city council, or a county commission. So the city council can be the lead agency. But what experience and knowledge do they have? Are any of them really qualified to be leading this, or should they get other people, right? Maybe they should get other agencies involved and let them do the leading. Why are they wanting to be so involved in this? Is it because they have a particular interest in this particular project? So here are the facts. 900 North Broadway is owned by Neil Sage, but it actually has a woman listed as the owner, a woman by the name of Sana Sage, Sana Sage? Well, Neil Sage is the brother of Assemblyman Nader Sage, and he also owns 944 North Broadway, the adjacent medical building. Nader Sage, has endorsed. So this is where my concerns are, and where I think residents' concerns should be: the relationship that the owners have to the individuals that are going to make the decision, that are going to vote on whether or not to change this zoning law, right? So if it's Nader Sage's brother, then I think that presents a conflict of interest. But interestingly enough, Nader Sage also has a wife named Osana, Sana. So when I first saw the proposal and it had her name on it, I immediately assumed it was Nader Sage's wife. And I'll show you here if I can get to it. I want to show who's the individual that, if I can see it here, I don't know where it went. Well, anyway, it talks about the person who filed the petition for this change, and it was a woman by the name of Sana Sage. So is it Nader Sage's wife, or does his brother also have a wife by the same name, which is what someone said? I'm not 100% sure. But Nader Sage, the assemblyman, has endorsed council members like Councilwoman Tasha Diaz, the former majority leader. She has a very close relationship with Nader Sage. And in fact, not only did he endorse her, not only does he support her, but she also has her campaign headquarters in his building. So she runs her campaign out of 10 Palisade Avenue, which is owned by Nader Sage. And he also allows her to store whatever things that she needs for the food distribution that she does right there at Chicken Island, or that she would do at Chicken Island, because it hasn't been one for a long time now that the campaign or the elections are over, right? But he allows her to store her stuff, and I guess maybe that's also part of her office there. So there's that relationship. Not only is he endorsing her, but he gives her office space. Is she paying for this office space, right? Or is this another Mike Cater quid pro quo scandal there? Nader Sage has a long standing and very close relationship with Tasha Diaz's campaign managers, Zahi and Frank Jarris. In fact, Nader has paid Zahi Jarris to be his campaign manager. It's on file there on the records. You can go look it up. According to the public records, Nader Sage paid Precision Strategies, which is the company owned by Zahi Jarris, to run his campaigns. According to reliable sources, Zahi Jarris is actually working behind the scenes to get this deal done. He's very involved in it. And he would be, because he has control over several council members, the ones that are going to have to vote to get this zoning approved. And so if Zahi Jarris and Nader Sage have a close relationship, he's been his campaign manager, the guy that's been there helping him and making sure that he's elected. Is he getting involved in this real estate deal? And if he is, it's very reminiscent of the Ridge Hill scandal with Forrest Ratner, where Zahi Jarris was in the middle of it. And in that situation, he got a former councilwoman to change her vote on a real estate project. So is he again working behind the scenes here to influence the way the council members vote? And does he have to influence, or try very hard to influence them, as individuals like Tasha Diaz already have a relationship with Nader Sage? But she's not the only one that has a relationship with Nader Sage. The city council president as well. She was also endorsed by Nader Sage. And so, again, is there a conflict of interest there? Should residents who are opposing this zoning change be concerned about those relationships and the fact that a man like Zahi Jeris may be involved in it. They should be. So Nader's close ties to Zahi Jeris, Tasha Diaz, and even the city council president means that this deal was done from the inception. According to a very reliable source who reached out to me yesterday evening, this zoning change is already done. Pretty much they've already decided on voting yes for it. It's just a matter of actually doing it officially and publicly. And they didn't anticipate the opposition that they received on Tuesday. And that's why their faces were the way they were, right? You see the city council president there, Vinny Spano and Lakeisha Collins Bellamy, both looking pretty upset because they just wanted to get it done. They already had spoke about it in the back, rooms. They decided, and all they had to do was move forward to get this done for Nader Sage and his family, as well as Zahi Jeris. Another interesting note is that the former building department commissioner, Sam Borelli, was seen at one of the community meetings in regards to this project. And some are saying that he may be a consultant on the project, on this development. The former building department commissioner. And so, again, this resolution was introduced last year in 2023, June 13th, 2023. The resolution was adopted by the city council at that stated meeting. So this is something that they have been working on for a while now, but they haven't made much mention of it to any of the residents. And what about Anthony Moranti? I hear that this is in his district, which I'm not 100% sure, but I'm being told that it is in his district. What does Anthony Moranti have to say about this? Is he supporting those who oppose it? Is he going to vote no? Then again, does it really matter if he votes no? They may not even need his vote. Is the city council president going to recuse herself from this vote, seeing as that she has a close relationship with Nader Sage? He's endorsed her. She's also has ties to Zahi Jeris as well. He ran her campaign against Mike Cater. She thanked him in her election victory speech. And so is she going to recuse herself? Or is she afraid to recuse herself from votes after what happened the last time? She doesn't want to piss off Zahi any more than she's already pissed him off, I hear, or Tasha Diaz for that matter. You know how they get. But Borelli not only has close ties to Zahi Jeris, also Nader Sage, Borelli also has close ties to Tasha Diaz. And in fact, Tasha Diaz hired Sam Borelli's daughter-in-law to work in her office, Melissa Borelli. And so if he's the consultant on this, Tasha Diaz is supposed to vote on this. This property is owned by either Nader Sage's brother or Nader Sage himself. Do you think that the people who are opposing it stand a chance? This is a done deal. This is a done deal. And I hope that the people continue to fight this and continue to speak up, because I want to see exactly what they're going to do. I have a feeling that they're going to move forward anyway, because again, there are too many players involved in this and have an interest in this for it to fail. But if it does go forward, that should just validate what I've been saying and what many of you already know, that our council members are bought and paid for. They're compromised. They don't care what the residents say. They don't care about the taxpayers. They don't care about their constituents. Their only concern is doing what it is the developers need them to do so that they can remain in office. That's it. So again, that should concern residents. The fact that this property is owned by either Nader Sage, the assemblyman's brother, or Nader Sage himself. Nader Sage has close relationships with Zahi Jeris. Zahi Jeris was his campaign manager. Zahi Jeris is also Tasha Diaz's campaign manager. Zahi Jeris also ran Lakeisha Collins Bellamy's campaign. Zahi Jeris also ran Deanna Robinson's campaign. That's 3 of the city council members right there. You know, John is going to go with Tasha Diaz and Lakeisha Collins Bellamy. He's a part of it, and he's also been involved with Zahi Jeris. Mike Breen, for sure, is going to vote along with Tasha Diaz, Lakeisha Collins Bellamy, Deanna Robinson. He's a Spano guy. And the Spanos and Nader Sage, as well as the Sage family, have close relationships to the Spanos. So this is a done deal. This is a done deal, even if Anthony Moranti was to vote no. And that is probably the number one problem with our Yonkers City Council, residents of Yonkers, new and old. 5 of them, at the very least, are compromised and are working on the same team. They essentially got there because of the administration. If it were not for Zahi Jeris and the Spanos, Tasha Diaz wouldn't be in office, Deanna Robinson wouldn't be in office, Lakeisha Collins Bellamy wouldn't be in office, John Rubo wouldn't be in office, Mike Breen wouldn't be in office. And so they owe it to Zahi and the Spanos. They owe their allegiance to these individuals, and that is not going to waver. And I think we've seen their actions have proven that, right? And that is the number one problem with our city council. It is completely controlled by the administration. And so whatever it is that the administration wants, that's what they're going to get. How often do you see mayors get 7-0 votes on things that they want? They don't challenge the mayor at all on anything. They don't question anything. They don't make the residents aware what's going on in enough time for them to actually mount a real opposition. Sure, some have been successful, but it hasn't been easy, and they purposely do that. So again, to the Yonkers residents, new and old, you must understand this. This is our big problem here in the city of Yonkers. I got to say, Yonkers is probably the most corrupt city in the state of New York. And they're going to completely destroy the city by continuing to build more and more buildings. Yonkers cannot hold all these buildings. It just, the geography is just not conducive for this type of development. Streets are way too narrow. The infrastructure is way too old. It's not going to be able to handle the volume that they anticipate on having. Again, there's still many more developments to go. This is just the beginning. And so you see already Yonkers Avenue, North Broadway, Riverdale Ave corridor, Ashburton. It's all congested. I mean, you got to look at the cross county as people are coming into Yonkers in the morning, in the evening, right up until 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, bumper to bumper, trying to get off the cross county there on the Sawmill exit 5. And it's not even, we haven't even, they're not even done yet. Wait till they begin building the developments over on Chicken Island. There are going to be 4 to 5 buildings there. And so what kind of a disruption is it going to cause when they start to do the construction there? That's probably the most used corridor there, the Yonkers Avenue, Neperhan Avenue, coming into the downtown area. Imagine what that's going to look like when you have all the construction going up, construction vehicles, streets being blocked off, Con Edison doing gas lines, or if they're doing gas lines anymore, right? All kinds of stuff going on. Try to get into downtown then, right? It's already taking us double the time now to travel from place to place in the city of Yonkers. So Yonkers used to be a suburb, but it's not anymore. And I think a lot of the people that are coming from the city are, upset that they're trying to escape the city and it feels like the city is following them, right? The buildings are getting taller, it's getting more crowded. We're starting to, see some of the issues that the city's having in terms of the migrant crimes. That's right. And this is not an anti-migrant, podcast, but we've seen moped robberies occurring at local parks. We've seen migrant makeshift camps being built on Elm Street behind the Yonkers motels. DPW is constantly having to knock these campsites out and take it away. And it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. So, folks, that's what I want to just, to come on and talk about that. Again, is there conflict of interest on this vote, on this zone change for 900 North Broadway? Again, is owned by an individual that belongs to the Sage family. I'm not sure if it's Nader Sage himself, but the woman that filed the petition for this zoning change, her name is Sana Sage, Sana, the same name as Nader Sage's wife, although I hear that his brother also has a wife of the same name. But either way, if it's Nader or his brother, it's still part of the same family. Nader Sage has close relationships with the city council president, Tasha Diaz, Deanna Robinson, John Rubo. He's endorsed many of the council members. They shared the same campaign management company and manager, Zahi Jarris, Frank Jarris. So is there a conflict of interest? Are they going to be fair and impartial when it comes to making that decision? Or is it already a done deal, as one of my sources has told me? So again, that's the problem here in the city of Yonkers. The rich get richer. A few are colluding to completely destroy this city before they get the hell out of Dodge. That's what I believe. I believe they're going to work to try to get as much money as they can from these developers hustling right all the way up through North Westchester, and then they're going to get out of Dodge. They're going to go to their compounds in Florida, the homes in the Hamptons, or wherever else they have homes, as they've enriched themselves off taxpayer money. Imagine elected officials, public servants all their lives, multi-millionaires, multiple mansions, and all the nice cars and homes. They don't keep them here in Yonkers. They keep them in Florida. That's where they drive the Ferraris and the Lamborghinis. Folks, I'm Freddie Vasquez, Basement Politics Unfiltered. No union ad. Yeah, they talk about a lot of these developments are going to bring in all these jobs, but they're not. They're not hiring union. The work is crappy as a result. Many people are complaining about the construction, the work that's been done on these developments. Crappy work. The material is cheap. No insulation, leaking all over these new buildings. They shouldn't be flooding. They shouldn't be having leaks. They're pretty much brand new, these buildings, right? But that's what you get when you are not using union workers and you're hiring, individuals that may not even be American citizens. If you just, camp out at one of these development sites long enough, you'll surely see a van or two pulling up and a bunch of individuals getting out the back, women and men. If I didn't know any better, I'd say they were the migrants that were coming over here. And what they're doing is that they're going into the buildings in the late afternoons, in the evenings, and doing post-construction cleanup. So they go in there and wipe everything down after the construction's done. But these are not residents of Yonkers. I don't even think they're residents of the United States of America. But they're bringing them in by the van loads, by the truck loads. If I'll find it, I'll share it again. I had a video of a van coming into the downtown area with a bunch of individuals in the back, and it was like a box truck with a cage, and it looked like they were being trafficked. It would look like it was a human trafficking ring going on, but I'm assuming that they were being brought to a job site to go work. A lot of the individuals, again, working at these construction sites are not from the city of Yonkers. You can go to the sites. You'll see Connecticut plates, Pennsylvania plates, New Jersey plates, all over, but Yonkers. Many of the subcontractors that are coming in to do work on these developments, like the plumbers, electrician, window guys, granite guys. Look at the vans or the vehicles that they come in. They don't say Yonkers, New York. They don't say Westchester County on them. They say Brooklyn, New York. They say Queens, New York. So they're not even hiring local companies unless, of course, you are certain individuals, right? Some local companies are being hired. And, I would imagine they have to hire these companies if they want their permits right away. Ain't that right, Sam? You can check it out on the Sam the Dog complaint. See who was getting their permits same day, which companies. But for the most part, a lot of the subs are coming from the city because these developers already have their crews. They already know which electricians they're going to use. They already know which plumbers they're going to use. They already have their, foremans and their group of guys. They've been doing developments in the city. They're just bringing those crews up here to Yonkers. So they're not hiring local. Residents in Yonkers are only getting pushed out and priced out. They're not getting jobs. Lionsgate is not hiring residents from the city of Yonkers, except for that one security guard who actually I saw at court when I was in court. And come to find out, he had a little bit of a, rough situation not that long ago where he was accused of kicking down someone's door, going into their home and dragging them out by the hair. But now he works for Lionsgate. He is the campus tour guide or whatever you call it. He started out as a security, but he's the only one guy that I know from Yonkers that was hired by Lionsgate. So, again, like I told people before, these production jobs are not easy to get. I don't care how they sold it to you, these elected officials, but Lionsgate is not going to come here and hire a bunch of people from Yonkers. I'm sorry to destroy anyone's pipe dreams. Anyone who wants to be an actor, they're just not going to do that. They already have people who they know that are going to come from wherever. They're going to come stay in these apartments. That's why they're building studio 1 and 2 bedrooms, because they are not looking for families. They are looking for the employees of the 20 plus movie studios that are going to be built here in the city of Yonkers. They're going to come here temporarily. They're going to work on some projects for a year, maybe 2, if that, and then they're going to leave. So it's going to be a lot of short-term leases, a lot of revolving doors, but it's going to be single individuals. So that's why they're building so many luxury market rate developments with studio 1 and 2 bedrooms only. It's very rare that you see that they are adding 3 bedrooms because, again, my theory is that they are not building those apartments for people in Yonkers. I don't even think they're building them for people from the city. I think they are allowing them to keep them warm and generate some income. But the ultimate goal is to fill them up with movie studio employees. Again, the mayor said it. They're going to build 20 plus movie studios here in Yonkers, Lionsgate, when it's all said and done. There's going to be a lot of individuals that are going to be coming here to work on various projects. They're going to need somewhere to stay, somewhere close to the movie studios. That's why you see all the developments mostly going up around the movie studios. They're going to stay there. All they need is a studio apartment. Maybe they're making a little more money and they want to get a 2-bedroom apartment. They're going to go up to the rooftop deck after work, have a few cocktails, go back, finish their project, and then they're going to move on to the next city where the next gig is calling them. And that's how they work. So I believe that is the reason why they're building these luxury market rate apartments. If you can manage to get one and you're able to afford it and you don't mind living around all that craziness, then God bless you. I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Have a beautiful day, folks. Tomorrow, Friday, TGIF. Take care. who he's on in her house. Like, that's crazy. Like, that's very flattering. Like, it really. But he says she loves the podcast. She loves what I do. She loves me. He says she's always watching. You're her favorite person. This is what he says. So shout out to you. I got to get your name. I got to give you a shout out. But shout out to all the people that support, that come up to me when they see me in the street and say, keep up the great work. I appreciate it. It means a lot to me. That means more than any stars you can give me. I'm Freddie Vasquez. Good night.